Hey guys, how's it going? Logan here from Plugin Tutorials. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a YouTube subscriber button in Photoshop CS5. This is what we are going to be making today, this button right here. I'll also show you how to do the background and the little yellow glow effect behind it. So let's get started. You're going to go ahead and open up a new layer, Control N. And I'm going to do 1920 by 1080 just because that's my resolution on my screen and that's what I like to work with. And I'm going to go with 200 resolution pixels per inch. So let's go ahead and do that. Create that. There you go. And now if we go over here, the first thing we need to do is create our background layer. Really simple to do. All I did was I grabbed the gradient tool, picked my first color. I'm going to use 303030. And then my second color, I went darker than that. Just do this. And I believe it was OCOCOC. Feel free to mess around with that if you want. I then created a guide and placed it center. It'll snap in the center. Or it should. Not that that looks very center to me, but I'm sure it is. Hold down shift, click and drag up. And I want to go a bit higher than that. Click and drag up even further. And I want to go higher than that too, so let's go ahead, and I think that looks good. If we go back, this one's a bit lighter, doesn't have as much, but I like this background, so I'm going to go with that. The next thing we need to do is we need to make our shape layer. That comes next. So all I did here is I went and I grabbed my rounded rectangle tool, and then I went ahead and I used a white color to start this off, and I'm just going to go ahead and draw something out. Nothing's final. Let's go with that. That's good. And now I'm going to just make sure that this is straight in the center. I'm going to move it down a bit. And now I can pretty much get rid of my guide. I'm actually going to move it over to the side because I might need it later. So now what we want to do is we want to change the color of our shape. So go back here. I'm going to select a bright yellow. We're going to go OK. I'm going to grab my paint bucket tool. And that's actually not what I want to do. I do not want a layer mask on. I'm going to grab my shape tool. And well, actually, no, wait, we need a gradient on this. So we're going to go into our layer styles. We're going to go gradient. Now this is the standard black to white default one. We do not want that. We are going to go from our bright yellow there. We're going to be changing that a bit. And then we're going to drop down to a lighter yellow. That looks good. Now this is the first part. We are done that. Now if we go back over here, this one's a bit smaller, and that's fine. I'm probably actually going to decrease this. So just click on it. Make sure you have your layer selected. Shift and Alt, and just a bit smaller. Hit Enter, and then that's looking good. Hold on a sec. Need to sneeze. I guess I just can't get the sneeze out right now. That's gonna bug me. All right. Sorry about that. Now the next thing we want in this shape is our drop shadow, and we still have to do a stroke on the outline. So let's go ahead and do that. Whoa, this one's a lot smaller actually, and I actually kind of agree with that size of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and there we go. Now it looks really flat. We're gonna go ahead and add some depth, add a nice drop shadow to it. I'm going to increase the distance to about 15, and I'm going to change the size to 20. Adds a nice bit of depth to it, and I'm going to go ahead and put a stroke on it. I'm going to go whoa, not 12, let's go 2. A 2 pixel size stroke on the outside with opacity of 100, and there we go. As you can see, it is looking quite good already. Next thing we want to add is the text, the subscribe text. Now, For this, I used a Arial font. So let's go ahead and get that font out. I wrote it in black. Actually, I didn't write it in quite black. I wrote it in a darker, closer to 181818. And let's bring that down quite a bit. Oh, even further than that. And further. And further. Not so far. Alright, and now I'm just going to go ahead and write subscribe. This is where the guide comes in. I'm going to go ahead and put it back in the center. Right there. I'm going to go ahead and move the text. Now you can do this very easily with your arrow keys. Just go ahead and move it around. There we go. Let's get this guide out of the way. And that's looking good so far. But as you can see here, it's a bit bigger, but that's okay. Your results will vary. Actually, we can go ahead and kind of increase it. So let's go to 24. It's not going to do much because of the way I have it set up. I didn't have my text layer selected. Now let's try and go to the 24. Too big. I'm going to go with a 22. And even then, so I'm thinking I'm just going to go drop down to a 20. And I'm going to just straighten that out a bit. There we go. And we are done our subscribe button. But now, I also said I'd show you this extra effect here. Now, this was really easy to accomplish. All we do is, I'm pretty sure it's just a brush stroke. Yes, it is, with a drop shadow and a satin. So let's go ahead. We're going to create a new layer. We're going to drop it below our subscribe button. I'm just going to hide all these effects here. And I'm going to go to my brushes. Scroll all the way up to my default brushes. I'm going to grab this one here. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. And I want the yellowish color. I'm going to go with the brighter one for this. And just click. And now that we have that, we need to add the drop shadow and the satin. Okay, so here we go with the drop shadow. Again, 15 and 20. And then the satin. Right there, you can move that so it's in the center. And there you go. That is how you make a YouTube subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.